right, boys, here's a very, very interesting spot. If you're wondering what do I do when I study, or if you're asking me what is it that I study, this is what it is. Okay, so raised with a3 suited. We get a call from a very good player. I play tournaments with him all the time, played a couple of heads up final tables with him. A very good player, solid. Okay, this flop will continuation bet. Okay, he raises, we call, we turn a flush draw, he bets 3/4 pot, we call, and then he shoves, basically half pot. Okay, we fold. So now let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. When I'm done, I can take a look at what you're doing. Awesome. Okay, so you're like, well, he has a 9, right? He always has a 9 here. Well, he's a good player. So he won't only be raising with a 9 here, because if he is raising only with a 9 here, then I can just always fold and never pay him off with hands even as strong as like jacks, 10s, queens, kings, and aces. Like I could just fold those hands easily if he only raises with a 9 here. And he knows that because he's a good player. So he's not only going to be raising with a 9 here. He's going to be raising 6x. He's going to be raising 5s, 4s, 3s, 7s, 8s. He's going to be raising 7, 8, 10, 8, 4, not 4, but like 5, 7, like all the gut shots, all the stuff. So now so in order to be able to visualize this, right, we're gonna jump over here. So this is a app called, software called Flopzilla. This is what he is calling pre-flop with. So this action is represented by this range. Okay, so then his raise is going to be represented by obviously quads, full house, 3 of a kind. He really doesn't have any overpairs here. Pocket pair below top pair, middle pair, open-ended straight draw, and gut shot. Okay, so we can go ahead and put that filter in. Okay, so then that raise that's what it's supposed to look like. So you see there's 8-5, 7-6, 7-8, 10-8, and all the 6s, all the 9s, obviously 10-7, 10-6s. So this is what this range looks like. Okay, so then we put next card that comes out is 2 of spades. Okay, so I honestly, since he is a good player, I expect him to keep barreling everything. So everything that he did this with, I expect him to keep barreling with. So that range does not change. Okay, so he bets, we call. So then this is the range. So then we get to the river with the 9 of clubs, right? Okay, so we get to the river with the 9 of clubs. This is his range. And I do honestly believe he's a good player, and he is going to shove here with all of his range, all his missed draws, and everything else. So now we look right here. This is my hand, ace-3 suited. Equity of his range, 64.8%. My equity of my hand is 35.2. He gets to the river with full house half the time, because that's like 6s, pocket pairs, middle pair, which doesn't really make sense here. What would middle pair be? Yeah, I mean, it's all full houses, basically any pair, and then quads. But then look at this, no made hand. No made hand is about 35.2% of the time, and that's literally where our equity comes from. It's from the times. It's all the 7-8s, 7-8s, 10-8s, 8-5s, 7-5s, basically 9-5s. Sorry, not 9-5s. That's quads. What else is here? Yeah, 10-8. Yep, there you go. So the 10-8s, 7-8s, 8-5s, 7-5s. So, is this a call? We have 30% equity here. Is this a call? Well, we go a step further. We open up a little spreadsheet that we have. Okay. So let's see. The pot is 62 big blinds, 66. This is when he shoves. So we put that in there, 62, 66. I have to call 19.58. We put in 19.458. My equity when I call is 35%. And this is actually a huge plus EV spot. Like, as in, this sounds nasty, but I call here, like, every time. Like, I just have to call here. Like, I actually have to call here. Like, he has enough bluffs in his range that I get to call this with ace high. Like, because on average, this will make me 9.2 big blinds. That's what this number means. It says 920, but you know, you just move the decimal, I think 2 points, and then that's going to be in big blinds. So in big blinds, this is a plus 9 EV call. That's insane. I mean, plus 9 EV is literally insane. That is if I give him the credit that he would follow through with this with all of his his whole entire range. Now, if you think he's never bluffing here, then you could just fold. You could just fold. Clearly, you guys see, like, I'm calling here because I can also turn the flush, which I'll still beat lots of his trips. And then when this case 9 comes, I think he's a good enough player to know that, like, I'm gonna have a lot of overcards, a lot of ace highs, and yeah, and I'm not calling here. Like, I would need, like, for most people, I think for most people, you would need at least 7s to be comfortable to call here. Maybe a 6, maybe random 6x. Yeah, random 6x, 7s. But yeah, that's review. So, interesting spot. That's what you got to study, because apparently that's a call, baby. That's a call. If you think your player is competent, if you think he actually has a balanced raising range on the flop, and we could take a look at this and we could see this. So this is his stats. Let's see flop. Check raise, 7%. Okay, 7%. Let's see what I gave him. So 7%. He check raises, which is I wonder if there is by position, but nah, that would be too detailed. Like, how many times does he check raise out of the big blind? Because that's the spot. But let's see. Let's go back to the flop. Okay, so go back to the flop. And so, see, 7% overall across all flops he check raises. But this is going to be a flop that he's going to be check raising a lot, because it's very hard for me to have anything. He's going to have way more 9s in his range than I will, and way more 6s than in his range. And he actually has the uber nuts of like 6-9, which I usually wouldn't have even 6-9 suited when raising. So because of that, he can represent the nuts much better than I can, and I kind of have to take his bets for it, you know. So again, this is a spot that he's going to be raising a lot. So in this spot, he's basically raising, like I said, gut shots, open-ended straight draws, middle pairs, pocket pairs below top pairs. I really do think that. And obviously his value, which is 3 of a kind and full house. And that makes a lot of sense to me. He's basically like, he is raising middle pair and pocket pair, by the way, pocket pair below top pair, and any 6. He is raising that for value. Like, let's say he would just call that, yeah, and we get to the river in this way somehow. My equity is even bigger. My equity is even bigger if he doesn't raise smaller pairs and only 6s there. But that's the thing. So he's raising 6s for value here. Like, actually legit for value. And then he's raising open-ended straight draws, gut shots as a bluff. And you want to have those things basically align. Like, you want to have just as many bluffs on the flop as you have value. So value is 3 of a kind, which is 30%, right? And then of this range of what he's raising. And middle pair is now 30%, so he has about 60% of this. So he basically needs to like balance this out. So he needs like gut shots, OSD, and as you can see, this doesn't actually balance out because he only has like 21% of this range. So it's actually like, it should be half and half, but there's actually less bluffs here. So if he wants to be completely balanced, he's gonna throw in things like overcards. That's why I said he has to throw in these things right here. And now it's closer to being balanced because now you have basically 60% value, and then you have about 40% bluffs. So that's the hand. That's the analysis. And then so looking back, just to review, in this spot versus a competent player, we bet, check raise, they follow up on this river. It's actually a call. It's actually a call. And it's okay. If he has a 9, if he has a 6, you get stacked here. You are gonna lose 30% of the time. However, you are gonna lose 60% of the time when you make that call. However, it's okay because the 30%, 30 plus 35% of the time that you do have the best hand in this scenario, you will make more. You will make basically 9.2 big blinds more than you lose when you call and lose. Like it will just make up for it. It will just make up for it because of the pot odds, because of the situation, because of the pot odds given, because of the spot that you're in. So there you go.